this is why on this segment of the morning show, we have invited a crime and security and crime management expert, Mr. Steve Okwori, who is a friend of the house this morning, to take a look at enhancing security and safety in Yultide. Mr. Steve, once again, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to also have you on that side, because you always leave us with tips that go on to help us and our families, definitely, to become more security conscious. Now, this period, why do people always wait for this period to do carry out certain activities, such as buying and even traveling? Why do people always want to wait till end of the year, particularly the Ember month?
Yeah, it's the festive period, and usually there are certain activities that comes with such a period. There are people that from January till this time of the year, they've not been able to go to their localities, to see possibly their aged parents, that are resident in the village. So this period is when they see it as an opportunity to go and do the needful by going to spend some time with their parents or the family members that are resident in the village and all that. And it's just the way I said, it's the festive period, and it comes with a lot of buying and selling. Everything new, even clothes too.
You want to buy new ones.
You'll be surprised that even the adults even wear new clothes.
Exactly.
On such
Definitely.
a day, and you talk about the children that they have as well. So in trying to do this, there are some people that they can't meet up such demand
by the resources available to them,
and they want to go extra miles to see that they meet up. And that is where, in your introduction, such people, out of desperation, go into crime. For instance, the increment or the increase in one chance activity that we are experiencing within the FCT at the moment. You see, a lot of such persons are looking at the festive period. They take these monies from victims, and at the end of the day, you see them lavishing the money when they travel without either the parents or whoever they go to visit in the village, not knowing the source of their monies. The monies, So it comes with a lot of desperation, and once human beings are desperate like that, they venture into crime. Not just the crime that we even see on the street, even the crime of, you know what I'm talking about?
Of course. I'm trying to know what you are saying, adding zeros to the other zeros. Well,
in our offices.
Okay. Now, how prevalent is crime, particularly around this time? And before we get to what people should watch out for, how prevalent is crime, and what areas do these crimes, become a lot more prominent? I mean, when I say areas, of course, like you've alluded, crimes can happen in offices, crime can happen on our roads, crimes can happen in our markets, and all of that. So, how prevalent is crime, and where are the areas that these criminal activities are more pronounced around this period?
When you want to begin to look at that, you have to begin to see how to categorize them.
Okay.
Now, just the way I talked about the criminals that are involved in one chance activity, there are some that are also involved in burglary. They look out for people's homes. When they notice that there's no presence of human beings, they try to burgle, take out electronic gadgets and the likes, and go and see how to dispose of them, and use the proceeds from such a transaction into taking care of their needs and wants. Outside that, there are other ways, like armed robbery also. All these are crimes that people venture into, and try to see out. And in terms of the trend, especially this very period, because of the demand for such resources, I've had 1, 2, 3 cases where people packed their cars very recently, where their cars were burgled, and the valuables like laptops and the likes were taken from their vehicles. So I think we have to be very conscious of what we do at this point in time, because the criminal elements are also on surveillance. They are moving around banks, people that park their cars around banks, going to the banking hall to do transactions. The moment you come out, they try to see whether you are carrying some bulk sum of money. You know, from there they begin to trace you. They go after you. At some point, try to see where you either park your car and they do whatever they want to do on the car. So I think it's a period for us to be very conscious. We should be very vigilant about whatever we are doing at this point in time. In terms of prevalence, crime has been there. You know, we have never seen the situation where it reduced. It has just been there. You know, it goes up and down. It goes up and down. But from this period, I think from the data that we have gathered, there's more of crime now.
Around this period?
Around this period.
Because of the Yultide? Because
of the Yultide.
People wanting to go home to...
They see it as a competitive thing, you know, peer pressure. You know, somebody retiring home to spend 1 or 2 weeks with his peer groups, you know.
He wants to really show the evidence that I've been to Abuja.
Exactly. When you sit in a bar, you know, they want to impress. You know, they begin to spend lavishly.
So people now, you've already mentioned about people becoming conscious.
Yes.
Home burglary is there, cars being burgled, and even when we go to the banks, we should now become a lot more conscious in our behavior, because there could be people who are on surveillance, either to survey our cars and burgle them, or to even monitor where we are headed and trail us, so to speak. So because these are very vital information for us to become a lot more conscious about. But so from your expert point of view, particularly for people who are planning to travel, because that is like a must for a lot of people who reside in places other than their original places of habitation, what should they be looking out for, and what should they be doing from now till the time they will travel and even return?
You see, crime is local, and they shouldn't forget that as they are returning to their localities, there's serious activities of crime.
Just to add, because even as you are leaving Abuja to your village, you are also leaving your home.
Yes.
And you have valuables left in the home, which probably nobody will be there. Just let's say I should add that.
For leaving your home, of course, you know what you should do. You can't leave the home empty, you know. So you have to possibly hire the services of a security guard, a trusted guard that you have done background check on, you know, because sometimes these guards will even connive with criminal elements to steal from you, you know. So they have to be very sure that the guards that they are hiring for the purpose of taking care of their homes
when they are away,
should be somebody that they trust, and they should have done some background checks on the person. You know, that is one. And in the event where you are also living, you should try and ensure that your neighbors, you know, are also aware that you are leaving your home. You know, but don't still forget that we also have neighbors that are also bad.
Of course,
so
who are waiting for you to just
by letting them know that you are even going away is also a risk that you are taking. You know, but the fact is, you have to let your trusted neighbors know that, so that they should put an eye, you know, on your home while you're away. Then, as you get to where you are going, you have to be very prudent. You don't have to begin to display any kind of
opulence.
Exactly. You don't have to do that, you know, because once you do that, you can be traced, you know. Don't forget that even family members, the masterminds, kidnapping of their relatives, you know, pick him up or pick her up. Once you pick any of them up, the monies will come out, you know. So they have to be very careful in all of that. They shouldn't, it's not a period for them to begin to see how to display any form of wealth, you know. A lot of
but the tendency is always there.
You want to go home and show. You are at risk if you are doing that. You know, you are at risk if you are doing that. But if you have the means, then you can see how to hire the services of security to provide protection for you.
And then you now go ahead and paint the town whatever
color you want to do. You know, but they have to be very careful this time. It's not a season, considering the level of the hardship in the country. A lot of criminal elements usually point accusing fingers to the condition of the country. You know, it's not their wish or intention to do what they are doing, but they point fingers at that. So looking at the situation of the country at the moment, they should be very careful when they get to their destination during this festive period.
Okay, still talking about when you are leaving your home. I used to hear that they say when you are going traveling, you should leave the lights of your toilets on. And I don't know how. What?
It is very important. It gives any intentional criminal that is coming, if he sees the light on, the impression is that there's a possibility that there's somebody in the house, you know. But situation, just the way I said, they also come to survey. You know, they try to...
They know whether you are there or not there.
You know, try to see steps and all that, you know. So that's why most times burglars find their way or have their way on Sunday mornings.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, because that is when
people go to church
and assume that there's nobody at home and all that. And the most times they usually succeed, you know. So it's very important to leave some trace of, as if there's presence of human beings within the home. Okay,
now this now brings me to, of course, we are in the era of technology now.
Yes.
For those who can afford it, of course.
Yes.
How important is it for us to begin to look towards deployment of security and technology? Of course, it even goes beyond CCTV now to other things. How important is it for us to begin to look towards that direction to safeguard our homes?
Yes, technology is very important. There's a lot that technology does now that in the area of security that we shouldn't take for granted. There are certain technology that you can man in your home or your house while you're away, that you can monitor from your phone. You know, especially when there's an intruder that is coming in. From your phone, you can see that somebody that is not known to your house is coming into your premises and all that. So such technology can... I don't think it's too expensive. It's affordable, you know, that you can just man at the entrance of your house and the surroundings and all that. Anybody that is coming in, you can see wherever your location is, you can see or monitor from your phone. So technology is very important. But sometimes there are some human errors that comes with it, which is also a disadvantage. Sorry to digress a bit.
Please, go ahead.
For what happened in the Kaduna on Sunday.
Yes.
It was the drone issue. My heart goes to the family of the victims, you know. 85 of Nigerians, women and children and elderly.
The villagers insist there are about 120
that were killed.
Yes.
Now, the records is that 85 killed.
That's according to NEMA.
According to NEMA, even the law enforcement, they said 85 and 66 hospitalized. Now, what is the essence of the drone? The drone is technology, yeah?
Yes.
Now, it has failed, not the drone failing, but the operator of the drone.
Of course.
You know. So the drone comes with certain advantages. For instance, it provides insight into security and emergency situations. And as a result, it enhances better control. Coming from the side of the operator now, better control, gives accurate intelligence gathering information. Then it gives a comprehensive situational awareness. Then it gives you an opportunity to take an informed decision. But what we got at the end of this is that the intelligence that was gotten was wrongly analyzed. And that's what led to that killing innocent Nigerians. You know, in the last 5 years or so, we've had this kind of attack. Over 300 Nigerians have been killed. You know, so I think that there's a lot that the military needs to do. It's not just about apology. They apologize, but some persons should be held accountable. Training was missing, if you ask me.
Definitely.
Adequate training was missing. I watched the CDS on one of your sister's media station yesterday, where he was talking about most of these gadgets are foreign. They procure them. So if they procure them from the foreign land, they should be able to see that our operators who are Nigerians are well trained, you know, so that next time information or intelligence like that should not be wrongly analyzed, you know. And I also know that we have professional criminal profilers. When you see activities of either bandits or terrorists or kidnappers or assassins, from what you are seeing, you should be able to analyze, you know, these characteristics that comes with a banditry activity or a terrorist activity, you know. And these different groups have their distinct identification. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if I give you a check and my signature is on it. Anywhere in Nigeria you take it to, and it's assessed, they know that this signature is
for Steve
Okwori. Now, if a bandit group carry out certain activities, you should know that, one properly analyzed, you should know that this is a banditry activity. You know, so coming to tell us that they saw the target, it was banditry activities and all that. Meanwhile, they were just innocent Nigerians that were celebrating their whatever. So, as professionals, they should have been able to distinguish where you see a celebration mood and the banditry activity activity going on. You know, so I don't think is a reason for the mishap that has happened. Some persons should be held accountable so that such occurrence does not happen again.
All right, that was just a bit of digression, but still talking about application of technology. Like you said, some are affordable, and I can actually testify because I saw a recent advert on Facebook advertising a padlock. It's a padlock, and then if an intruder comes near, as long as it wasn't you who locked it, there is this alarm that it sets off, that it triggers. And I know how valuable alarms are, especially in scaring of intruders. So are there other affordable technologies that Nigerians should, of course, go for? Either to put in their cars, to put in their homes. You've already mentioned the ones that you can be able to even monitor from wherever you are. Just cameras in places, and then you can be able to, through your phone, monitor your home. Are there others that Nigerians should, especially during this period, that they will be leaving their properties behind? Are there others that you can suggest that they can, deploy?
Yes. When you want to begin to go deep into the kind of technologies that we have, then the more the
of course
the costs.
I can understand.
There are some perimeter fence that are not visible that you can see with the eyes. Yes, you can just put it around your fence. Any intruder that is trying to come around your fence, it will definitely shock the person. But they are not visible. So, of course, you should know that such technology comes with money.
Definitely.
Now, even with cars, there's still a lot of cars in Abuja.
Exactly.
Not just Abuja alone, around everywhere.
Particularly around this time.
No, seriously, there's still a lot of cars. I belong to a security platform where when cars are stolen, the information gets to that platform. And a day you get nothing less than 5-6 cars.
Wow.
Tell you the location, Mabuchi, Lugbe, Area 1, that, and the like. So, if you can afford a car that is worth such amount of money, even if it's just $1 million or less, and all that, why wouldn't you now have a tracker that you should also put in the car? There are trackers now that conversation inside the car, you can be recorded, and you can also listen to it. So, how much is that? It's less than 100,000 naira. And anywhere the car is stolen and taken to, the exact location is known. So, you see, the fact of the matter is that from my interaction with Nigerians and from what I've seen, we are not even serious about taking care or charge of our own personal security. You want to leave everything to government, and you want to keep blaming government.
Government or God, leave it for God.
Leave it for God. But meanwhile, you have the means to be able to take care of some of this your own personal security. So we have to wake up to our own. It's not everything about government. The government. Let us see what to do beyond what government is doing for us. Because when you want to leave it for government, government cannot do it for you.
True.
Over 200 million Nigerians, you have less 400,000 police officers. This period, don't forget that the wealthy ones
will pack a lot of them for personal security.
The politicians will pack a lot of them. Then the number that is left, of course, it won't be enough for the remaining Nigerians. So, what do you have to do? You have to try and say how you take care of your own personal security.
Your own personal security.
And,
All right. Now, are there tips that parents should also share with their kids and family relatives with respect to especially sharing information about the family to others, such as what should parents be telling their kids, especially when they go to school, when they meet others, particularly about the situation of things in their families? Because I want to believe that crime function alongside credible information also, just as security functions with credible information.
Very well.
Yes.
Yeah, to respond to that, parents, especially the ones that have children that have access to the social media.
Exactly.
Yes, you should be very mindful of that. Because whatever you do and it's posted on the social media, for instance, this period, as they celebrate the Yultide, some children want to do some video of activities happening at home, and they possibly go into
during their vacations.
Exactly. If they travel abroad, do videos of wherever they are abroad, and possibly do some videos of their parents' cars within the compound and all that. All this gives
a lot of information.
Even your family members that are also on the tree of your friends.
Yes.
If they see it, they say, oh, so this man, this is our uncle, so this is how he is. You know. So, you see, don't forget that most kidnapping activities, especially the targeted ones, comes from within.
Exactly.
You know, either your gate man or a family relative and all that. So, by the time you live a low-profile kind of life, by letting your children know that, no, this period is not a period that we should now begin to showcase all these things that God has done for us, because some people will certainly be aggrieved.
Definitely.
You know? So because when they come to ask, you don't give them and they say this, you know, so it will prompt them into thinking of something negative to do, you know. And beyond that, I think this period is a period where parents should tell their children, especially the young ones, that they should ensure that they know whoever is at the door.
Yeah,
you know,
before they open.
You know, that's also part of it, and they should be conscious. No matter how little the child is, when you give the child certain information, it sinks.
True.
You know, like for instance, if you have a girl child and you tell your child that any man or anybody that touches you at your the backside, you know, let me know.
No.
The girl child will definitely tell the mother or the father that so person, I saw he was, you know, and all that. So I think it's very important that we begin to let our words know some of these key things, you know, especially bothering in the area of, what we're talking about. Let them grow with it. Once they grow with it, it sinks in them, and they begin to apply those precautions as time goes on. Okay,
talking about house helps now. Very recently, a very tragic incident happened in Minna, where a lecturer from Federal University of Technology was killed by her house help with the help of a friend of hers. And, you know, it was very, very tragic, and to a very large extent was avoidable, so to speak. How conscious should we be, especially with regards to people that we keep as helps in our homes, particularly around this period?
It's not just for this period, because you will definitely, some certain individuals definitely need the services of help from January to around the clock, you know. You know, I talked about when leaving your own house, traveling during this period, and you want to hire the services of a guard. I talked about
background check.
It's very important. The lecturer, may her soul rest in peace, there was no background check.
True.
You know, she hired the little girl at 14 years or
14 years old, yes.
She spent 2 weeks, and she wasn't comfortable with the service. The young girl was.
The girl was not.
And she had to
ask her to go.
And she left. You know, I don't know the situation, how and where manner she left. And maybe from what happened, it means she left in a very aggrieved
manner, of course.
You know, and she now went to think of bringing two guys to come and carry out that heinous act.
That she brought them to beat her.
It beats my imagination for a 14-year-old girl to even think in that direction. You know, that's to tell you the level of the way these young ones, the way they think. You know, so background check. There are organizations that carry out background check. You know, in the event where you don't even have the resources to approach these organizations or companies, you can carry out background checks by yourself. Whoever that is bringing the person, you should know the person's address. The person should come with a valid means of identification.
True.
You understand? The person's home, and possibly a guarantor's form, where the person will fill his or her own means of identification. You know, then you have photocopies of the person that is bringing the help or the steward or whatever. How about that information kept? You know, you know. So once you do that, at least you have some level of confidence in whoever you are dealing with. But a situation where somebody will just come, you look at the person, without even carrying out medical checks. Sometimes it's very important to carry out medical check on the person that you're hiring, because there are some certain illnesses or diseases, like what do you call that, hepatitis B, and all that you can't see on the face. You know, so by the time you do that, the proper thing needs to be done. You know, that's why I talked about Nigerians not even interested in carrying out, taking care of their own personal security and safety. You know, so when you hire the services of somebody that has hepatitis B, for instance, and you know you can't see it on the face, and you know it's communicable.
It is communicable.
Okay. So there are a lot of disadvantages that comes with that. So let us do the proper thing. A professor did not do the proper thing.
She didn't.
So no matter the level of education, look at what happened to her. So there's need for us to be very serious about anything that has to do with us in the area of safety and security.
Okay. Now, because our time is fast spent, let's talk about the roads. Because, of course, the roads will be busy, especially roads leading to certain destinations around this time. What are those things that we should be conscious of as we, ply the roads back to our destinations where we intend to spend this Yultide?
I think this year, 2023, the roads will not be as busy as it used to be.
Okay.
Because a lot of things comes with moving from one point to another point. Of course, the price of fuel has increased. The resources not even there.
Nigerians are very resilient people. I'm sure we've adapted. You know, when the fuel price crisis started, the roads were empty. Yeah. But after a month or so, meaning the cars that were initially parked started coming back to the roads, and we are now back to normal.
Exactly. I agree with you. But, as they embark on such a trip, they should be conscious of the fact that the criminals are also planning to carry out one or two attacks on our roads. They should be conscious of the travel. They should be vigilant, because we have seen situations where these attacks were being carried on the road, and some people were not conscious of it.
Okay.
They were not vigilant. When you are traveling and you see that there's no vehicle that's supposed to be coming opposite you, you travel 1 kilometer, almost 2, and you're not seeing. You are not seeing vehicles on the other side. Coming. You should begin to suspect that something is wrong, possibly wrong. Why is it that vehicles are not coming in the opposite direction? So such a thing is also for you to draw your attention to.
Yes.
And this period, of course, the law enforcement, they know what to do. They should be able to try and see they deploy the number that we have, at least to let us have presence of. So
there be patrol on the highways and roads.
For them to begin to behave unprofessional.
Yes.
By trying to take monies from commuters. It's a season for them to begin to collect money from commuters or road users.
Or even what happened in Lagos, was it yesterday? The police and an Okada rider, he was chasing an Okada rider that refused to stop. And of course, in the process, they hit a woman and she died instantly. Exactly.
I know that the police usually the hierarchy of the police usually tell their men not to go after, now the woman is dead. The next thing they begin to apologize.
Exactly. Another round of apology.
Another round of apology. Don't forget that every Nigerian has the right to life.
Of course.
And the right to not to be killed.
Yes.
Just like that. So it's not about apology, please. Let the right thing be done.
Okay.
But these men, where they work, some of them that are overzealous. They go outside the instruction that is being given to them by the hierarchy of the agency that they are working with. So I think that this period is just a period for us to be very careful.
Very, very careful. Well, there you have it from the expert. Mr. Steve Okwori is a security and crime management expert. And we've been sharing thoughts on what we should do, especially during this period of Yultide that is characterized by a lot of activities. Of course, people want to show off when they go home. People want to, make that statement that, yes, I've been out, but I'm back. And they want to paint the village or their towns in different colors. And as he said, sometimes their resources are not up to what they desire to do, and that leads them to taking certain actions. And you and I become targets of such very unfortunate, actions. And we'll be sharing thoughts on how we should, we can avoid all of these things. Very importantly for me, what he has shared, as always, is as citizens, as human beings, first of all, we must begin to invest in our own personal safety, first of all. Then become very, very conscious of our environment. If you are hiring a maid or you are hiring any kind of worker, a third party coming in to stay with you, background check, very, very, very important. We are tired of hearing very unfortunate stories of how, you know, these maids and all of that turn out against the people who employ them, and quite a number of other very, very valuable tips. We can't thank you enough, Mr. Steve Okwori, for always being there for us anytime we call. Thank you very much once again. And it is on this note that we draw the curtains on today's edition of ASO Morning. Till we come your way again tomorrow, same time, same station. My name is Usman Katun Umar, urging you to stay safe and continue to consciously invest in your own personal safety. Bye-bye for now.